Greetings to one and all. Welcome to another chapter of the Reggae Planet Radio Showcase. Rasta Ruben Kwabina on the case. It's the Reggae Planet Radio Showcase Spotlight. Greetings to one and all. Welcome again, yes indeed, to another episode, another chapter of the Reggae Planet Radio Showcase. With the voice of the Reggae Planet Ambassador worldwide, yours truly, Rasta Ruben Kwabina. Today, we're starting off the showcase, the Reggae Planet Spotlight, with a very interesting topic. And the topic is called Africa on the Rise. Africa is rising. We just want everyone to know that there's big things going on in Africa. Africa is uniting. As you know, from the 1960s, Emperor Haile Selassie of Ethiopia, Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, and all the African leaders at that time gathered together in Addis Ababa, 1963, May 1963, yes indeed. And they proclaim that Africa must be united, and that is the power of African unity. So we say the power of Africa is unity, and that is the big message we send out to the world. And you can do the numbers and you can do the mathematics and you will figure it out for yourself. Africa is the fastest growing population in the world, and Africa also has some of the fastest growing economies. Countries like Ethiopia is doing very, very well. Rwanda has recovered from the genocide and is very modern and educated, with the most female members in parliament out of any country in the world. Yes, indeed, because the Rwandan president and the Rwandan people made a pledge that to go forward to overcome the ugly history of the genocide and the ugly history of colonialism, that it is important to make sure the women are at the forefront of the movement. And they have achieved this, and so far they have a lot of women in the Rwandan parliament. You can study more about it and read about it. So it's all about Africa on the rise, and it's all about repatriation is a must. Repatriation and reparations. And you know that the great prophet Marcus Mosiah Garvey prophesied about the greatness of Africa. And it's almost more than 100 years now since Marcus Mosiah Garvey started the movement to liberate Africa. Yes, indeed. He called it the Universal Negro Improvement Association. Yes, indeed. The Universal Black Man Improvement Association and Black Woman Improvement Association. And that was started by the great Jamaican known as Marcus Mosiah Garvey. And he started that around 1917. So it's more than 100 years now. And the reason why I mentioned that is to say that the prophecy is coming to fulfillment, because Mr. Garvey, very wise, very introspective, and very revolutionary, and very philosophical. And Mr. Garvey, he wanted to see Africa rise in his own lifetime. Yes, indeed. We all want to see Africa rise in our own lifetime. Yes, indeed. And that is the mission. But Mr. Garvey was prophetic, and he's prophetic. You see? And Mr. Garvey said in one of his speeches that perhaps it's gonna take some time. Yes, indeed. He said it may take 100 years. It may even take 200 years. But Africa shall unite, Africa shall rise, and Africa shall conquer, and Africa shall restore itself to the power and the glory that is the original power and the glory of Africa. Yes, indeed. So the reason why I mentioned that is to say that 100 years of Garvey is already completed, and now we're inside of the next 200 years. Just like we have already completed the first 50 years of reggae music, the first 50 years of Jamaican independence. Because Jamaica was independent in 1962. See? And so therefore, we're at, about 57 years now of Jamaican independence, right? And Ghana, I think, was independent 1957. You know what I'm saying? So basically, we're about 50 to 60 years now within the whole movement of independence from colonialism. So if you look at it in that way, the Garvey prophecy started to fulfill already in the first 100 years of the Garvey movement. But as Garvey said, it will take some more time. So do not be dismayed. You get me? And do not give up. Just keep focused on the goal. And the goal is that African unity is the power of Africa. Yes, indeed. Because Africa is the richest place in the whole wide world. Yes, indeed. The richest place in the whole wide world. But yet, we suffer colonialism, we suffer poverty, and various other atrocities. You know what I'm saying? But nonetheless, these are the challenges of such a great place. Because no one can rob so much from a poor place. They prefer to rob from a rich place. So all of that colonialism that you see happening and the slavery that happened back in the days, it's because of the glory of Africa. The fact that you could find gold there, you could find treasures there, you could find riches there. They used to have a saying back in the day where they say, if you got camels and you need water, you need to find water, something like that, right? But if you're poor and you need to find riches, you got to go to the south. The south, in those days, they mean going to Africa. You got to go to the Sudan, they would say, the south. Yes, indeed. Yes. And these were sayings that they had in Europe and in Arabia. If you want water, you got, if you're thirsty, you got to find water. But if you're hungry and you need money and you need gold and you need silver and you need land and you need treasures, you got to go treasure hunting. And the treasure hunting was they would go to Africa. So be dismayed, right? Know that Africa provided the world with gold, with silver, with diamonds. All this big diamond industry that they have in the world, and they're saying the diamond is a woman's best friend and all of that. That's just a commercial, we call it advertising to sell the diamonds. But the diamonds originated in Africa. They found the most diamonds there and the biggest diamonds there. Yes, indeed. Even to this day, recently in Botswana, they said they found the world's biggest diamond. So the mines are still there. See, it's not running out. It's not run out. There's still gold there, gold and diamonds. So we want the people to know that this year is a big year in the history, mystery, and prophecy and living reality of Africa. Because this year, 2019, marks 400 years since they started that ugly history of the slave trade, where the ship was taken away from the coast of Ghana all the way to the Caribbean, and that ship was known as the SS Jesus. See? So this is why, as Rasta man and Rasta woman, we don't really partake with the Christopher Columbus religion. We love the Lord and Savior, Jah Christ, the conquering Lion of the tribe of Judah, Jah Rastafari, Emperor Haile Selassie. We love the Messiah, we love the Savior of the world, we love the Almighty Good, we love the Most High. But we do not like the religion of Christopher Columbus, the religion of the colonizers. We do not like that religion because we know that they're using religion to aid in their psychological warfare. You see what I'm saying? So this is the voice of yours truly, Rasta Ruben Kwabena, Reggae Planet Ambassador worldwide. Inside the Reggae Planet Radio Showcase, today's topic is all about Africa and the rise. And we will be keeping up this topic and talking more and more about it to let you know what's going on in Africa. So right now, as I say, it's been 400 years since the first slave ship took away captives from Africa. Yes, indeed. And this is why this year in Ghana, they have proclaimed it as the Great Year of Return. Yes, indeed. It's called the Year of Return because Ghana and the president and the government of Ghana is reaching out to the overall diaspora. They call it diaspora, but I call it the living power. The living power of Africans at home and abroad. So they're reaching out and saying, come on, brothers and sisters, it's time to come home, time to return home, time to invest in Africa, time to visit Africa, time to interact with Africa. Not just about packing up and going home. It's also about interaction. Networking together. Because if we interact together, we network together, and we invest together, then eventually, it's up to you, brother, man. You can go home to Africa and make a new home. For real. You know what I mean? And you can start a whole brand new life, I've traveled a few countries. You see me, I say? And I intend to travel some more. One of the greatest places I've been so far is the great country known as Nigeria. Powerful country. Don't let them fool you in the news media. You got to go there for yourself. Go to Africa for yourself. And I also been to Sierra Leone. Beautiful and lovely country too. Great and lovely people who overcame the diamond wars and all of these things. And now they're living in peace. And they're making the future bright and building up Sierra Leone too. You know what I mean? So we'll talk more about Nigeria as we go along and let you know about my experiences there. And we're also going to talk about Ghana as we go along, because I will be going to Ghana this year, you see. So this Reggae Planet Radio Showcase is developed so that we will keep you in touch with all the moves we're making, all the steps we're making. And it's all about the unity between Jamaica and Africa, and between the Caribbean and Africa, between Africa at home and Africa abroad, right? And also about the African numbers. We want to talk a little bit about the numbers. You know that China is big population, one of the largest country in the world in terms of population. Well, India also is up there in population, but Africa is right on their heels, and Africa's population is growing faster than any other country in the world, any other region in the world. So it's just a matter of time. Africa is the largest population in the world, and when you count the Africans at home and abroad, it's the largest population in the world. So the wisdom is that we have to unite. When we unite, we will be like giants. If we just separated, we're like ants. But united, we're like giants. You know what I'm saying? Yes, so this is what is going on now. There's a lot of push in Africa to promote more unity from the 60s, but it's getting more going now. There's different areas of Africa with unity, such as the ECOWAS area, which is the Economic Community of West African States. And that is on the West Coast and include quite a few countries. And in those regions, you don't have to go through too much border stress. One passport, the ECOWAS passport, takes you to Ghana, takes you to Nigeria, takes you to Sierra Leone. Quite a few countries included in that. But one of the big news that coming up this year is that the Africans have signed the first continental-wide free trade African agreement. Continental-wide. And this will go in place in June. It will get in place in June. You see me? So we're going to keep you posted right here on the Reggae Planet Radio Showcase. All my viewers and subscribers, big up yourself, all my fans and listeners. This is the voice of the Reggae Planet Ambassador worldwide. Yours truly, Rasta Ruben Kwabena. And we're just saying, share this podcast with your friends and let the people them know about this new Reggae Planet Radio Showcase podcast. You know what I'm saying? And also about the Reggae Planet Radio. So we will keep you updated and informed about all that's going on with the Reggae Planet movement, as well as all that's going on with the Africa on the rise. You know what I mean? And with the year of return, there's going to be concerts in Ghana celebrating the year of return. Lots of big things happening, lots of good things, and we're going to keep you posted with each step of the way. So big up, one love and unity to the whole wide world. And we also want to say we don't want no racism, because we're the Africans, we're the original mothers and fathers of creation. So we have to show creation exactly the truth and how it goes. And racism is not part of the agenda. So big up yourself, all Africans at home and abroad, and all humanity who love Africa. One love, peace, prosperity and unity. Rasta Ruben Kwabena, Reggae Planet Ambassador worldwide. Thank you for tuning in. Rastafari culture, Hail Selassie power. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Share this podcast with all your friends and associates. Here, there, and everywhere. Reggae Planet.